Well, hello everyone. My name is Zach Davis, and I'm here to teach you about fractions. Now, I know fractions can be hard for some people because they're used to the whole numbers and not the quality of numbers, which that's what fractions are. But fractions can be easy if you can understand them, and they're really pretty simple if you sit down and you learn them. Now, fractions are made up of numerators, which is all the top numbers, and the denominators, which are the bottom numbers. And fractions can be used in many examples in today's life. Like, for example, fractions can be used in measurements, like when you're building a house or a doghouse, for example, and you need to make sure everything is right so you don't make something too big or too small or not enough. So that's why we have them in measurements, and they also have them in recipes for like when you're baking a cake or making cookies or like making a casserole or something like that. That's why you have them in all this. Now, when you're doing this, like say when you're doing measurements, for an example, you come up with a measurement 3/4 plus 3/4, and you're trying to find out what 3/4 plus 3/4 are, which is, this is simple. If it has the same denominator, what you do is you add what's on top, which is 3/4 plus 3/4 equals 6/4, and you simplify that if you want to get 3 out of 2. Now when you need to subtract something or take something away, you put like for example 6/8 minus 2/8. What you do is, if it has the same denominator, what you do is subtract this from what's on top, and you get 4/8, or if you simplify that, 1/2. Now that's just the basic stuff, and that's pretty easy. But what a lot of people have trouble is when it has different denominators. Now different denominators can really be simple, but you just gotta put it in the same numerator like this. So what you do is, for an example, when you're adding them, like 2/4 plus 1/2, you times 1/2 by 2 to get it the same denominator like 4 is, and you end up with 2/4 plus 2/4, which is 1, or 4 out of 4. So that's pretty simple, and it's the same thing for when it's subtracting, like 3/4 minus 1/2, you do 3/4 subtract 2/4 equals 1/4. But adding and subtracting is not the only thing you have to do when it comes to fractions. You also have to multiply and divide. Like for an example, when you multiply 1/2 times 3/8, you don't have to have them in the same denominator per se, but you can just go ahead and treat it like a normal number. Like 1 times 3 will be 3, over 2 times 8 will be 16. Your answer will be 3/16. And when you're dividing them, like 1/5 divided by 2/4, what you do is you do 1/5 times 4 out of 2, and you just do it like you do the multiplying one, and just do 1 times 4 equals 4, and 5 times 2 equals 10, which would be, if you simplify that, it would be 2 out of 5 will be your answer. In conclusion, fractions are not hard in real life, but if you take the time to understand them, you can understand them better. And like, they can be used to make stuff like houses or delicious chocolate cake.